And here at the 12 o'clock position on Shattered Temple, we have our green Zerg player, CptJoe. His opponent here at the 3 o'clock position is our pink Protoss player, CholmesInk. So, CholmesInk versus CptJoe. And yes, indeed, the Ice Fisher builds. So I've been recommending a lot of people check that out. It is a way to at least expand their mind when it comes to Zerg versus anything type of builds. I still don't like it in ZVZ. I think conventional ZVZ is still the way to play from what I've seen thus far. But in ZVT, I mean, I saw Spanish Iwa take a... this is 27 minutes, okay. I saw Spanish Iwa go ahead and do a... he destroyed Chinook. Chinook is... And this is nothing against Chinook. I love Chinook. Chinook is an awesome guy, awesome player. He's even casted this a King of the Hill with me in the past. But they were close positions on Slack Pits at the SC Reddit Open, and Spanish Iwa with Mass Queens and Speedlings made it look like it was easy. It was awesome. So anyway, CptJoe now saturating that extractor, also putting up his spawning pool. Opting for a 1-base build here for a while. And is kind of something he's told us, so we know we're going to look out for some Nidus play. We know we're going to look out for a good bit of aggression. And that probe now moving back to join the mining train. The pylon coming down. Early scout was sent out for Trevor Cholmes. And Mr. Cholmes running inside of the base. Does see that his opponent has a 1-base build coming up. Queen is about to finish, as is Zergling Speed. So let's see. Red, a good gaming name. Fantastic. And Cholmes loses the probe. Hatchery coming up as well. It's about 1/3 of the way done at the moment. Cholmes going after a very late second gas because he is going to 4-gate. There's the second gas, but this is going to be mostly Stalker Sentry. Not Stalker Sentry, Stalker Zealot is what I meant to say. So a very offensive-minded. Oh, 3rd gateway actually gets canceled. Or 4th gateway actually gets canceled. So what is Cholmes going to move into? Looks like a Stargate. This is a very late transition to Stargate. And in doing so, he has actually conceded a huge supply advantage over to CptJoe. CptJoe now up by 5 workers. And with, frankly, a larger armory at the moment. So Roach Warren up, CptJoe going to Layer Tech. Everything looks pretty standard out of CptJoe so far. This Zealot defending that base like a boss. And we do have Phoenixes coming up. Cholmes is actually going to do some Phoenix harassment, which is never a bad idea if you can pull it off. Layer Tech is about to finish now for CptJoe. And here we have CptJoe putting up a 3rd queen. 9 roaches on the way as well. And this Overlord does see the Stargate and knows that there's a bunch of Phoenixes out. Immediately slaps down the Evolution Chamber. The problem is he going to have enough queens here to hold off the Phoenixes. Looks like 1 queen is going to fall. It does. 2nd queen and 3rd queen joining the fight now. And that actually does do quite a bit. These Phoenixes are pushed away. The Evolutionist Chamber is done, so we'll probably see some Spore Crawlers here soon. Oh no! Turn around with the other queen! Do it! There it is, finally. Poor queen. More queens coming up now. CptJoe finally putting down those Spore Crawlers. There they go. They are about to finish, and it looks like Cholmes is going to expand. He has the resources for an expansion. Why no expand? Why you no expand? Cholmes now going to move to the natural expansion. And nice job there because there are no Spore Crawlers up. And there we go, finally Spore Crawler number 1. And that should be plenty enough to hold this off. CptJoe with a bunch of tildes and a no. Destructible Rocks going down. Cholmes, on the other hand, has a good force of Stalkers, but that's about it at the moment. Double Forge now. Double Forge plus Robo. So 3-gate Robo with double upgrades. And so take a drink. Let's take a look here. Cholmes. Oh, apparently that was Cholmes about ready to drop, is what it was. Aw. Savage Cholmes. Cholmes, of course, yanking that Ethernet cable out and deciding it's not worth it, puts it back in. One Overlord goes down. So these Phoenixes still finding a place, even though they've largely been neutralized. And we have 5 Queens up for Captain Joe. Actually, Queen's never a bad idea. I mean, sending some forward and doing a bunch of transfusions and just aggressively spreading creep is a fun plan. It really is. We do have Ventral Sacks and Zerg Missile Attacks level 1 coming up at the same time as a 3rd base now for Captain Joe. The old Cholmes has up 15, now 18 Stalkers. He is putting up a Twilight Council, so he has a Stargate, a Twilight Council, and a robotics facility, and a bunch more gateways, so he is exploring every possible tech path that a Protoss player can. And look at that, there's a big Nidus drop! As all of these Zerglings coming out now, killing a ton of probes. This is so much economic damage. Oh my god. That is disgusting. And at the same time, old Captain Joe's going to move in with a big force of Roaches. Those Roaches on 0-1 upgrades. Chomso on 1-1 upgrades. He does have the advantage there. And these Stalkers are going to make their way back down. But I think this Nexus is going to fall. Yes, it is. Captain Joe does take that out. Unfortunately, there is an Observer, and he is going to lose most of these Roaches. Nice job there just to attack the Stalkers, though, as he knows he was going to lose all of them. So you might as well do some damage. And Joe is actually reinforcing with a bunch of Roaches. Of course, the Bond Dragon list of counters. Roaches. And, let's see here. Captain Joe putting up another Nidus Worm. Going to Spire Tech as well. Here comes a big group of Blink Stalkers. And we'll see if they're able to blink themselves in. Yes, they are. Moving up now. Looks like Queens are going to drive away the Phoenixes. And it appears, though, Cholmes does not actually want to jump onto the high ground. He is reestablishing a base. But at the same time, that Spire's about to finish. Now loading up that Nidus network. And we'll see where this next Nidus Worm does actually get dropped in at. So let's see now. And, oh, everyone who is talking about MLG Columbus, I will be at MLG Columbus, so I hope to see you guys there. 10 Mutalisks coming up now for Captain Joe, and it looks like he is going to have a sufficient force to deal with whatever comes his way. And Cholmes going for pure Stalker. He's had that Robo up for quite a while, but it's done nothing but produce the Observer. Oh, it looks like a Nidus Worm is going to get dropped down at the same time. And I think that's going to get stopped. Indeed it is. Another Nidus Worm coming out, but that's going to get stopped as well. And Captain Joe does pick off a bunch of pylons, though. That's going to supply block his opponent quite badly. Cholmes trying to reestablish whatever he can in terms of supply. Doesn't really have a lot of resources to work with. And Captain Joe is floating a lot of minerals at this point. Just drop down a ton of bases. Like, just drop down 4 bases. It doesn't matter. You're going to have the extra larvae, and there's no reason not to. And so all of the Roaches now popping out here at the Nidus Canal. And Captain Joe is going to reinforce with a bunch of Zerglings. Cholmes actually not running away, and he's going to lose all the rest of his Stalkers. Aww. Sad state of affairs for Cholmes. Another Nidus Worm coming down. And Captain Joe going to lose a couple of Roaches there. Just peeking out a bunch more. Zerglings getting in. And Cholmes being forced to pull back. As the Mulas are coming in and destroying his main. And Roaches coming in and destroying his natural. Those are all going to fall. Looks like this base here is as well. The Noodle's finally being driven off, but after they've killed everything. And Captain Joe killing that pylon. The rest of these assimilators. There's finally an Immortal left for Cholmes. Hooray, an Immortal! But these Mutalisks are killing everything.